like a joke, got us falling out our chairs. Tammy keeps it real with that no-nonsense stare. Justin got the whiskey, he's pouring it strong. Chef K got a pot, smell it all day long. That's real shy, we share, that's the way we roll. Laughing and sipping and stirring that soul. From a splash of whiskey to a pot of stew. That's real shy, we're cooking for you. Jokes can't keep a straight face. Tammy keep us honest, bringing all that grace. Justin holding whiskey like it's made of gold. Chef K in the kitchen got the gumbo sold. That's real shy, we share, that's the way we roll. Laughing and sipping and stirring that soul. From a splash of whiskey to a pot of stew. That's real shy, we're cooking for you.
All right.
Hi, y'all.
Hey. Tammy done messed her key.
Is she okay?
I don't know.
I'm
She's trying to figure out how to be soft.
I'm trying to figure out how to be soft.
So our secretary, Donna,
Yeah.
worked on our notes. And as part of Tammy's very limited script, Donna suggested that we put softly next to her name so that she would read it.
No, Donna actually put it on there.
She put it on there.
That's what I said. Donna put softly, wrote softly next to Tammy's name
So now I'm
on
trying to
her
figure
little
out how
script.
to be soft.
So for the past 24 hours, she's trying to figure out how to talk soft.
I don't think Donna's met Tammy.
Not yet.
Okay.
They wouldn't get along, I don't think.
Donna would watch herself.
Donna would have cut Tammy by now.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Tammy's gonna cut Donna.
I got my money on Tammy.
Anyway, hello.
Yeah.
Forget soft.
There we go. We don't broke it.
Right?
Poor Donna. You don't even know Donna.
That's all right.
You got problems.
Tell them to bring it. Feeling froggy. Let's go. Anyway,
You say that until you can't get up off your back.
I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah, laying on your sofa, be like, I can't go to work. My back's locked up. I done moved and fell down and I can't get up.
It'll work after a while.
No, it won't.
So, have you ever hear a story just by watching your Pawpaw stir his coffee?
Yep.
That's how deep roots run in the South Louisiana.
This one is for the grandparents who raised us right even when life was hard. Pour a cup, Shy. Let's talk legacy.
Tonight, the Kuyals are here. We're ready to talk about our heritage. Justin,
Hi.
Chef K,
Hello.
and James.
That's me.
And of course, we have me, myself, and I. All three of us tonight.
They're all here too.
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode
Y'all pray for
of
her.
That's Real Shy podcast. Hey, I heard a podcast the other day that says, "Am I your podcast?"
Did you answer?
I've been watching Married at First Sight.
Okay.
I love that show.
That show's weird.
It's not weird. I like it.
The
Anyway,
episode I watched was
Isn't that
weird.
the show that they just get married? They don't know each other. They just get
Exactly.
married.
the first time they meet is at the altar. Yes.
Yeah, that's dope.
No, I don't think so. I think I'd like to try that.
I'm not gonna comment on that. We don't have enough. Look, we don't have enough hours tonight to record that
We're
conversation.
trying to get funding. We'll record it.
You know what? If anybody wants to offer us good funding, we'll offer you Tammy at First Sight down the altar. But you said you wanted to talk, and we need funding, so
I wasn't
Guess
going
what?
that far, but
you
yeah,
was.
I guess I was. Yeah. Oh shoot. So this episode is brought to you by Little
Buddy
Buddy.
biscuits. They're great to throw for the puppy dog, and especially when Tammy's having a tantrum, we just throw a cookie at her. Oh,
She beat me to it. I
Oh.
was trying to pick it up and throw it
Oh
again.
nope, that's not the
it's
game.
gone.
I wasn't gonna fight her.
That's not part of the game.
Right.
Okay.
You don't retrieve those; they're goners.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed how some of the biggest life lessons come from the quietest folks in the room?
Yeah, not from me.
No,
I can't even talk softly.
My grandma wasn't quiet.
Mm.
My grandparents weren't either.
Especially if that quiet person was your pawpaw sitting on the porch sipping coffee, saying more with a look than a whole sermon ever could. I don't know about my pawpaw doing that, but I know I can do it.
Yep.
Amen. That's all I'm gonna say.
you give the whole Pentecostal experience. What is wrong with you? Get down on your knees. Repent now.
Softly, James.
Softly.
Well, no, that's Tammy.
Oh,
That was her being soft.
okay.
Are
You
you
get another
Mawmaw stirring a pot of gumbo with one hand and raising half the family with the other? You knew better than to talk back, or else you knew when to run. But you also knew where to run when life got too hard. Yep, my grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandpa.
This episode's a love letter, really. The grandparents who raised us, taught us, fed us, and prayed for us. And I think some of them may still be praying. And passed down more than just recipes. They passed down resilience, heritage, love, and so much more.
We're talking about the ones who taught us how to keep going when things felt too heavy, the ones who knew how to make do with a whole lot of love and not much else.
See, that's the thing about grandparents down here. They didn't even always speak in long speeches, but every moment, every gesture meant something. They raised us with stories, with food, with hard work, and quiet love.
So pour a little coffee, maybe call your mama or papa, Mimi, Nanny, or Poppa. I wish I could.
Me too.
Mhm.
Because tonight on That's Real Shy, we're digging deep into the stories, the lessons, and the legacy of our grandparents in South Louisiana.
Let's get into it.
Woohoo!
What did you call your grandparents?
It was just Mawmaw and Pawpaw.
Well, it was
We
Mimi and Pawpaw for
Mhm.
my dad's side.
Yeah.
And then on mom's side, I always called her Mawmaw Lejeune.
Yeah.
That was,
I did too. I
Mhm.
did too. I call her Mawmaw Lejeune because she was my great grandma.
yeah.
On my boys' side, their dad, his mom and his grandmother was Big Mawmaw and Little Mawmaw.
Yeah.
Big Mawmaw was
that's
the
true.
great
The great
grandmother,
grandma.
and Little Mawmaw was the grandmother.
Yeah. Yeah, because
And I'm called Yammy. I didn't want to be called, an old person thingy.
my mama did the same thing. She didn't want to be called Mawmaw and Pawpaw. She wanted to be called Granny.
Yeah.
So that's what
So
everybody
it's-
called my mama was Granny.
Well, we teaching her to say Yammy, but I don't know
We're
if it's
going to
working
get
out
that baby
so well.
to call Tammy Maw Birdie.
I told her she can call me Tammy because it didn't bother me.
Yeah.
And Paris is like, no, that's not.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay,
Maw
Yammy.
Birdie.
Mine were
Maw
Mama and
Birdie.
Papa.
If I accomplish anything with my few years left on this world, I will teach Layla
So
to
I
call Tammy
always
Maw Birdie.
wanted, and I think I know the answer to this, but I always wanted to ask this: where did T Birdie come from?
Jackie.
Why?
I don't know. It's just something he started whenever I was living in Karen Crow.
Was something he was little and he just
No,
No, he never grown.
he was just
They were all grown. He'd come in and he'd be like, "Hey, T Birdie," and she'd get so mad, and then it just grew.
It just
That
grew from
everybody
there.
calls her T Bird now.
I don't. I never
thank
did.
you.
I never did.
appreciate
You
I
it.
should.
call her Tammy.
You should.
Thank you.
Well, that's the only way I know Tammy. Is
Right.
Tammy.
But
you know?
but she's really T Bird.
No, she's
No.
not. She's
Yeah,
Tammy.
she's like a free bird, but a T Bird.
She is a free bird. She's her own bird. I'll tell you that. Right now. But she's Tammy.
She
to
is
me.
a one of a kind and rare birdie at that. Look, you see, she could call us.
Yeah, that's the best rappers could call, right?
I'm gonna leave that
Oh,
alone.
okay. But it's weird how we all give our people nicknames like that.
It is.
And it's And it's usually the ones that people get ticked off about.
Oh,
or
absolutely.
It just
Oh yeah,
sticks.
absolutely.
What do you people who's watching right now? What do y'all call y'all grandparents?
Yeah, what do you call your grandparents? Because I know there's nannies and nonas
Yeah.
and
Pop-pops. That was my great
yeah,
grandfather.
pop.
GG.
Yeah, there's GGs,
Yeah.
peepaws, and
Mimis.
You
memos.
call my daddy's what
Pop.
pops.
Pop.
Mhm.
She calls my daddy pops.
I know, like Jackie and CJ would call my mom Memo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And your grandmother was Mimi. Mimi.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
it
It's
is
just
weird
really
how we
weird.
all come up with our
Mimo,
own little
and then
words.
his daddy
was
was
Peepaw.
Peepaw
Uh,
Mhm.
to
Jewel used to call your mama. I don't remember. Was it Jewel that said it first, or
My other nieces and nephews call her Haya.
Hiya.
Yes, when
That's cool.
when my niece, the first niece, was born, my mama would say, "Hiya, how you doing?" when she would
Yeah.
talk to her,
Oh,
and she
hiya.
would look at her after she grew and start talking and say, "Hiya," and it's
That's
stuck.
cool.
Shaw. That's cute.
Momo. Jill called her
Momo.
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 Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
I was trying to remember what that was. I couldn't.
There's
Momo.
Glammy too.
Glammy.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nanner. I know-
Nanner.
yeah,
Like a
this-
banana.
I've heard
Banana
Cookie.
nanner. I've heard of
Mhm,
Cookie.
Yeah.
And I've heard of honey before
Honey.
for grandmothers as
That's
well.
what isn't that what Taylor's kids call Kayla?
I don't know. I've been called Cookie from a lot of women.
I'm not
back
gonna
in the
comment
day.
on that.
OMG.
My
Oh,
grandpa's
Lord.
nickname was
Throw a
Cookie.
cookie
I
out.
I'm fixing
I
to
think-
throw a cookie at you.
I think that was my Chippendale name, if I remember right.
Oh, mine was white chocolate.
Yeah.
Jesus. Can we move forward?
But I was never a Chippendale.
Please,
I was
can
just
we
a
move
straight stripper
forward?
at the Pink Chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Paradise
Okay.
Club, Abbeville, Louisiana. If you know, you know. And if you don't want to know.
318.
Lordy.
337.
337, baby. In
Well,
the
back,
house.
back in the day it was 318.
Well, this is true.
Yeah.
Okay, when you grow up in South Louisiana, you don't just have grandparents, you have pillars.
This is true. Our grandparents were parental figures. And I mean, even in a lot of households now, the grandparents are a daily part of the children's lives, regardless if it's child care
Yeah.
or if they even live together. I grew up living with my grandparents.
Yeah.
That was, I think we moved in with them when I was like in second or third grade. So, but before that, I stayed at their house probably more than at my real house.
Yeah.
I
it's-
stayed a lot at my grandma's house.
It was, so
Mhm.
for us, it was my great grandma. Your grandma was
Yeah.
my babysitter.
No,
Cause my mom would go across the street to
to work.
work. And
Yeah.
stuff. That's where the
Mhm,
restaurant was.
Right.
and she great grandma would watch us until Daddy would come home.
Mhm.
And sometimes Mawmaw and Poppa, O'Neill, and Thelma would watch us as well. There was times we go into discipline.
Oh,
Poppa
you
had
get whooped by all of them?
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 Every
My
single
grandma
one-
didn't whoop me.
Yeah, my mom never whipped me.
Me,
I don't remember.
I don't even think
I don't think my mom
ever
Lejean
fussed.
ever fussed or whipped
No.
at me.
She fussed.
But
I remember her fussing.
I was never around.
I didn't
her a
understand what
whole
she
lot.
said, but she fussed.
I do remember it was like really broken English, but she would call me little fat boy.
Yeah, he was a little fat.
Well, I
boy.
was. I'm
He
not
was.
arguing that. Like,
A little white fat boy.
Oh,
and
he
he
was-
was white.
That's my first memory of him.
Him being so white
So white,
and
about this tall,
Mhm.
in diapers,
yeah,
chubby as hell.
that's right, baby. I was big ever since
Oh,
I
yeah.
came out. I came
Yeah.
out like a premium ever since then. I was everything and beyond.
Yeah, but I remember my Pawpaw one time. We did. I was acting up for something, and he said, "Boy, go out there and get me a twig."
Uh-huh.
So I went out there
Oh, yeah.
and I picked the smallest little branch or something.
Thought you were smart.
Oh, yeah, thought I was smart.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, boy, that ain't good enough. I'm gonna get it now.
Was it off of the
Mhm.
tree that's right by the ditch?
It was always the chicken tree.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
right
Oh, yeah.
there
Yeah.
He went
on
picked
the
off
left
that,
hand side.
picked
right
that off,
there.
and whipped my butt.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Then a little while later, my little boy, baby brother Jacques He did something wrong. Boy, go out there and get me a twig.
Yeah.
Jock went in the woods
Oh Lord.
and came dragging out a whole tree.
This is your Papa O'Neill?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like him.
He dragged. He's like my little brother was probably 4 or 5 at the time.
He
He
dragging out
dragged
a
the
whole
whole
branch.
damn tree. My papa laughed and didn't do him nothing.
Guess he figured at that point, if he did all that work, he got enough punishment.
Exactly.
Just go haul the tree around, drag it through the woods.
Well, I guess my little brother was a genius back then. I don't know.
I don't know. My grandpa spoiled me, so I really
Yeah.
can't say a whole lot. So he did whip me, but it was not.
Jamie had to do a
Very-
lot wrong or
Yeah.
talk back really bad for Jamie to get whipped from Pawpaw.
Yeah. Well, there was one time that he whipped me, and I laugh about it now because I ran into their spare bedroom, and that's usually where I would sleep whenever I spent the night. And I jumped on the bed. So he come in there, and I don't remember if it was a little belt or a fly swatter. He would swing, and I'd jump over it. He might have hit me once or twice. It wasn't even like he wasn't even
I
trying.
can see him swinging it. I can
I'm
just
trying to
imagine
picture
that.
James
I
Watson.
can.
I'm
I
trying to
can.
picture
yeah.
James jumping over the
That's
fly
right.
swatter.
That's right. Hey, I am nimble.
Yeah.
For my size, I can get
I
across the
seen this
hood.
dude run.
I can get across the hood of a car and slide in
Yeah.
like Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, I
Look,
seen
it's
it.
happened. There's proof out there. And if you know, you know. If you don't go looking for it. That's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. You have some stories, Chef K, about your grandparents?
Not disciplining.
No,
I could
not
get away with
discipline.
anything with my grandma.
Really?
That is true.
I
She
don't.
was spoiled by her.
I was
Mimi
spoiled
would fuss
rotten.
at me, but
But she knew how
to
my
say that
parents
she
were
would
to
ever
me, so
whip
I
me,
guess
I
she
don't
was
think
trying to
she
make up
ever
for how
really
they were.
whipped me.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mimi ever truly whipped me. She might have
Mimi-
fussed or
Mimi
snapped a
didn't
little,
whip anybody.
like she might have
Mimi-
swatted a fly swatter at you,
yeah.
but she wasn't really trying to hit
So-
you with it.
No,
so-
She was just trying to scare you to be good.
My mama Thelma, she was a sneak.
I can see.
Oh.
She was a sneak.
I used to stay over
I
there
could see.
too, boy.
So look, me and my cousins, we're over there one
Gotta
time.
be
We had
Joe and Jerome.
Joe and Jerome, and
Oh.
we're sitting on the ice chest doing arm wrestling,
Uh-huh.
and we're like winning, seeing who's strongest. Mawmaw, come over here. We want to arm wrestle you.
Oh,
All right,
man.
babe. She go over there. She started,
Yeah.
and we count down 1, 2, and when we said 2, she went
Boom.
boom, and walked away. And you felt so ashamed.
Mama
So
just whooped my
My
butt.
mama just beat me in arm wrestling.
She's strong, bro.
Yeah.
I saw them pots of gumbo she be cooking.
Yeah, all those kids she
Mm,
All
had.
them
to
kids.
That's true.
Yeah.
She
Lord.
knew what she was doing.
Because she had to tend to her own kids, and she worked at the state school.
Yeah.
That is
She
true.
did.
She was a strong
She was
woman.
taking care of all them little cheerings. Y'all bad.
Yeah.
I was good.
Lies we tell. And
Hey.
we're gonna say that softly.
yeah.
Oh, now she learns.
Yeah, right.
Now
right.
she learns. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What else?
Where we at?
I don't know.
We kind of got lost.
We got lost in our
We
own
got lost
story.
already.
That's
We're
the
already
discipline.
here.
Okay, so the quiet wisdom of a grandfather. I
My
don't
grandpa
know.
never really talked that much, but when he did, you listened.
So
Actually, Justin Pawpaw
yeah,
didn't talk very often.
her
He was very quiet, very soft. My grandma wasn't, but he was very quiet, soft spoken.
her grandfather reminded me of my Pawpaw.
Yeah.
Very hard working all his life.
Right.
Had the wisdom and everything. My Pawpaw always had stories. Always had
Oh, he had stories, lots of
yeah,
stories.
lots of stories.
Mhm.
Had sayings for everything.
Mhm.
I mean, I mentioned one a while back on the last episode.
Yeah.
Rains before 7, you'll see the sun before 11.
He
Yeah.
always had those little sayings.
Always.
You know, like
Yeah.
he was popular for that.
Yeah, it
'Cause
was.
even like at the family reunions, he'd come up with something, regardless of what it was. He'd have his little mirror,
Yep, always.
And
Or-
put his
Papa
little
was
2
there.
inch.
He talked, but whenever he talked, you listened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never got to meet him.
Yeah, I never met
He
Yeah.
Pawpaw
passed away
Jam.
the same year I was born.
Right.
I was long
Oh.
gone. I was a baby.
Well, you wasn't even there.
You
know
weren't
that's
even
my
there
point.
yet.
I never got
No.
thought of at
Yeah,
that
you know,
point.
you weren't even thought of.
No.
My
But
grandpa, when he told them something, they listened. Like
Yeah.
when my grandma died.
Yeah.
The way my daddy told us was bullshit. We were getting out of the car. He's like, "Get back in the car." My mom was all right because your mother died. That's how he told
He
us.
was blunt. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my dad.
yeah, that was blunt though.
I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, he was very blunt. Didn't cut the chase, none of that.
I was spoiled
and-
after my Pawpaw.
And I was very spoiled after I didn't want to go to
Yeah.
the funeral. I refused to go see her in a coffin. And they kept, well, you need to go. You need to go. My
No, you
grandpa
don't.
told him to shut the hell up.
right.
Leave me the hell alone.
no.
I was staying home and I was cooking the gumbo. He showed me how to cook the gumbo,
Uh-huh.
seafood gumbo. That's where I learned to cook seafood gumbo. And he says mine is the closest to his grandma's.
Yep.
And that's what I did.
That's awesome.
But he
Well,
told him to shut the hell up and leave me alone.
Well, he gave you a good life lesson. Right?
Yeah.
He taught you how to grieve without being a traditional grief.
Yeah.
Correct.
Like
How to work through your grief.
How to work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
correct.
process it in your own way and continue
Mm-hmm.
forward, but
Yeah.
letting it out nonetheless.
That's why she bakes cookies so well.
I bet. She puts all them fillings in them cookies.
Oh yeah, when she gets mad,
Did you put them in the cookies too?
I got all kind of cookies.
Oh.
When he comes home and there's 4 or 5 different, he would know when I would talk to my mother
Oh yeah, yeah.
because he would come home and there were 4 or 5 different types of cookies.
Yeah.
Because usually when I'm in a good mood, I'll bake my mint chocolate chip cookies.
Right.
When I need to process the
You're baking 12
baking-
dozen of everything known
Yeah.
to man and
4 or
whatever
5
we have
different
left
types
in the
of cookies,
cabinet.
and he's like, "Who made what? She made you mad for this time?
Yeah.
I
She
know.
done did."
I think I got my work ethic from my grandpa because he was a workaholic. He never stopped. Even after he retired, which I don't remember him working. I just remember him in a retired
I
state.
remember him.
But
working.
even retired, I mean, we were selling produce.
Mhm.
We would go to Houston every weekend, every other weekend, buy fruits and vegetables by the cases, and drive around town and the surrounding area and sell fruits and vegetables. During the summer, we sold watermelons.
Yes.
We would go get truckloads, trailer loads of watermelons at a time, come back and peddle them
Yeah.
everywhere. He kept up his lawn, he cut his grass.
And he did all that himself.
Yeah, by himself.
until he got sick.
Right.
Pawpaw
And,
O'Neal was like that too.
and most of the time he would even cook his own breakfast and lunch as well.
Yeah.
He would do the dishes.
Yeah, because he would tell
after
me
my
to
grandma-
stay in bed. He would serve her
yeah.
breakfast.
My grandpa spoiled my grandma massively.
Oh yeah.
So whenever
He
they were
spoiled all of
first,
us.
well, that's true. But whenever they were first married, they were living out in Maxie at the old house, and the only form of heat that was there
Yeah.
was a wood stove.
Yeah.
So he would get up in the morning and fix the fire, leave, go. Well, he'll fix himself breakfast, fix his lunch, give her some breakfast, and she would stay in the bed until he got home. Now, when he got home, he would set that fire, and she would get up and cook dinner.
Yep.
And that happened pretty often, from what I understand.
That's dedication right there.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So,
I got the experience like that with my Mawmaw, O'Neal and Thelma.
Uh-huh.
Mawmaw and Thelma. Pawpaw and Pawpaw. They were a unique couple.
They were. I
They're
love them.
Very unique couple. I think that's kind of how me and Kashiko are. We bicker at each other,
right.
almost like siblings,
Yeah.
but don't let nobody else mess with her.
Time to fight.
You know,
It's the way it should be.
yeah,
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
they were like true loves.
Mm-hmm.
Them two.
Your mama and papa bickered all the
Like,
time.
if you did not,
If you didn't know, you would have thought they hated each other. Because
correct,
there was a couple of times I was like, Mom, ain't them Uncle Neil? They don't like each other? Oh, yeah, they love each other. They're fine.
Yep.
That's just
That-
how they are.
and to dance, to watch
Oh.
them two dance.
Oh yeah.
That was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
They love dancing.
Yeah.
I mean, especially even after your grandpa died.
Yeah, Mawmaw
Your mama went dancing.
Yeah.
Like, she would go out on the town.
Mawmaw was 80-something years old.
Yes, cutting the rug.
And went to
They took her to Cowboys.
the Cowboys.
I
She
believe
went
Oh, I
and
didn't
hung
know
out
that.
with those young folks at Cowboys.
Which cousins did that?
No, that was her
No.
cousins.
Oh, it was.
That was her group.
I thought one of your
Yeah.
cousins took her
No,
to
no, no.
Cowboys.
But her group, they would go on trips because I think
Yeah.
mom went with them once or twice.
Yeah.
And they would just go somewhere.
My
I
grandpa
think
would
they
go to
went
the Fado-Dos
Branson.
all the time, even
Yeah.
after Mawmaw
Yeah.
died.
I think they
She-
might have went and seen Uncle Gene once
Yes.
at one point in
Well,
time.
with Aunt Becky,
Yes.
and I think they went one time with you.
Not with
They
us.
didn't come with us.
Okay.
No.
I think they had went together, but it wasn't with me.
Okay.
Because whenever I went, it was just me, mom, Tammy,
In
and
Paris.
then Paris
Okay.
the first time. And the second time, I don't think Paris made it.
No, it was just the three of us.
Because I know she went out there twice. Maybe it was both with Aunt
Or
Becky.
Aunt Joyce. She might have went with Aunt Joyce.
Okay.
Oh, Uncle EJ
Because
and
I
Aunt
know,
Joyce would
I
travel
know
a
Yeah.
good
she
bit
would travel
too.
with them a
So
lot.
they would
Okay.
always go around because they were
Mhm.
big on bringing their camper different places
Right.
and just go camp places.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, well, that's usually out of football season.
Yep.
Right.
But you know, them two, if there was
Oh,
a football game in Iota, they were there.
they were there always.
If there was any kind of game in Iota, they were there. Even if their grandkids were there or not.
Yep.
Amanda learned a lot of her baking from Aunt Joyce.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we got to learn that too. So one of the kids,
My best
friends-
friend.
Yeah, I went to school with Amanda. She was at Lejeune as well.
No, Amanda was a Miller.
She was a Miller. I
Yes.
thought she was a Lejeune.
No, Amanda's was a Miller.
Okay. Well, that so, but they married into the family
Okay.
Right.
on.
Joyce is her grandpa's sister.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Got you.
So
Hmm.
it's weird.
On the
Yeah.
other side.
Yeah.
On the other side,
On the
but
other
it's
side.
small world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small world.
Very small world.
And me and Amanda always got along.
Really?
When we're growing up and going to school in high school and stuff like
Yeah.
that, we always got along.
A grandmother's faith through hardship.
I don't know. My grandparents always were big on going to church and praying and talking to Jesus. I mean, even because Pawpaw would go often. Even when no one else would go, he would walk. We lived a block from the church, and he'd go walk to church. And
Yeah.
a lot of times I'd be there with him, you know, especially if it was a Sunday night or a Wednesday night.
Oh yeah, because we were
He wasn't
always
a
in
person
church.
that knew the Bible well. Like if anybody ever asked his favorite verse, he'd be like, Jesus wept. And that was it. That's what he knew. That's what he got. But his faith was there. And he showed that.
I guess Mawmaw and Poppa their faith was more in their work ethic and how they lived and with their family. Have
Mhm.
the
Well, they
family.
were Catholic,
Yes.
and they were strong in
Yeah.
their
My grandpa
Catholic
was strong in
church.
the Catholic faith. My
Yes.
grandmother
Correct.
found God, Jesus, later on after her kids were starting to grow and the grandkids came around,
Right.
and her faith grew then.
Mhm.
She was different with her grandkids than she was with her children because of that.
Yeah.
hear
And
that
her
a lot in
faith
life.
never. She lost 2 children.
It was a
I got you.
Netflix series we
Mhm.
watched that reminded me of, you said did it remind you of your grandmother. That Netflix series with the vice president there.
Oh, that one. I said it had some of her characteristics.
Well, your
especially
Aunt
when she
Chris
was-
said she couldn't
when
couldn't
she was
watch it.
younger. Yes, that's before she found. Yeah,
Yeah.
The characteristics reminded Aunt Chris a lot of her mother.
Really.
In which
And it had
the one about JD Vance.
JD Vance on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. It shows how he grew up.
His
Mm.
mother was
His mama was a drug addict.
a
Wow.
drug addict. His grandmother was an ass to her kids, but was
Don't mess
just-
with the grandkids.
Don't mess with her grandkids. Just the same
Mm.
thing like
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
she could hear. And Chris pretty much would say her mom was an asshole. And
But was different with her grandkids.
different with her grandkids. And she
Mhm.
because she found faith.
she found faith and changed her life and stuff. So
Yeah.
And she lost
I bless
one.
her, but
Absolutely.
Uncle Adam died when I was about 5 or
Yeah.
6. He drowned right water rafting. And Uncle Thad died when I was a teenager. He tried to pass he got hit by a train pretty much in his vehicle.
Ouch.
Yeah. The day after Christmas, he died.
Ouch.
And even through all of this, her faith may have wavered, but
Yeah.
she still had her faith.
Mhm.
Fair enough. That's awesome.
Okay. Lessons we still live by today.
I mean, for me, I feel like my grandparents had a huge making in the person that I became, because I am not a whole lot like my dad in characteristics. I mean,
Correct.
I don't act like him. To be perfectly honest with you, my grandparents was my safe place
That's
whenever
how
I was
mine were.
growing up. Because growing up, I spent more time with them than at home. But my grandpa is the only person that would ever stand up to my dad and,
My grandma
and
did.
fight for me or take up for me or anything. No one ever took up for me like as a child.
I remember.
Period. So he was the one that when my dad wanted to fight or wanted to start swinging on us or beat us, he was the one that jumped in.
Yeah.
And stopped it. He died whenever it was the end of my 8th grade year. So I was like 14, 15 years old. And at that point, my childhood was gone. Because after that, I started fist fighting with my dad because
Yeah,
it was
defend
either,
yourself.
well, it wasn't just that, is my dad would lose it. And next thing you know, he'd want to beat on his mom. He'd want to beat on my mom, his mom, and then me. And I had to be the one to jump in the middle of it. So at that point, that was my high school days at that point. And that was like some rough years. I mean, that's when the fight started. That's when the fist fight started. That's when the guns in my face started. A lot of that stuff. So I would not be the person I am today without my grandparents.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I would have probably went down that same path. But he showed me different. He treated me different.
What are you saying, Chef K?
My dad tried to stop me from leaving with my grandmother one day. And my grandmother had this big ass huge purse. And she kept everything in it. And he's like, he wouldn't let me get in the car.
Yeah.
And she got pissed and beat the living daylights out of him with her purse.
She just swung that purse at him.
Me,
I was
let go of
crying
that
to
baby.
leave, and he didn't want to let me.
Medea.
Oh yeah, you gonna let go of that child today?
You
You're
lucky
not
she didn't
playing.
reach in that purse.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm pretty sure she probably did carry that little bitty toy, that little bitty tiny gun Pawpaw had.
little
Yeah.
Derringer
She probably
ball,
carried that.
little 2-shot Derringer
Yep.
right there. That's all you need. 2 shots to get you out of a bind.
So I say this table.
Yep.
Yeah.
This table came from my great grandma.
Mawmaw Lejeune.
Well, my mama
And it's weird because I'm
and
sitting.
Pawpaw.
Every time I sit here, it's like I don't remember this table being.
This
It's like small.
It's
Yeah.
small.
I remember it being
Being
way
big.
lot
Yeah,
bigger.
correct.
Whenever we were younger.
That's because we got a lot bigger.
So
And I got my pots.
where I'm
Yeah.
sitting at right now, my Pawpaw set right here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if I smacked at that table, I got
Yep. Don't you
and
hit
not
that
that
table.
soft either.
That's right. Don't hit that table.
Yeah.
Respect that table.
Yeah.
I get it. The property that I live on now was my grandpa's. It's
Yeah.
where he grew up.
Yeah.
So, whenever I'm having a bad day or whatever, half the time you're going to find me sitting on my porch.
Yeah.
Just, I go sit out there often. And a lot of times that's where I feel closest to him.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
where I feel closest to
My,
grandparents.
My grandparents on my dad's side, the Lynchays, my dad had died young or was killed whenever I was a young kid. And then naturally, once mom met Jamie's dad and all of that, we didn't get to see them as often.
Okay.
So, but as a little child, I remember spending time over there. And my grandmother was the one that actually taught me. I remember that. I was thinking about that the other day. Taught me how to bathe. What parts of my body am I going to bathe first?
Really?
And
Yeah.
what parts of my body
Okay.
I'm going to
Bathe
bathe last. Yes. And
Okay.
I thought about it. I was like, wow, yeah. And you think about it today and it's like, well, Tammy.
Duh.
Yeah.
Duh.
So, but I remember that. And that's where I learned with Pawpaw how to pop eggs on Easter egg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We learned how to we played all kind of Easter egg games before my dad was gone.
Yeah.
played,
We
you know,
didn't-
Easter games.
We
over
did
there
that,
a
but we
lot.
didn't see my dad's parents very often.
Well,
Yeah.
after the fact, we stopped seeing them. So
Well,
My
there
grandma
was
was-
a lot of that when
Yes.
we were growing up.
it
'cause-
wasn't just on
Yeah.
mom's
Right,
side;
right.
it was
On
on my
every
dad,
side,
on all
yeah.
sides of it. Yeah.
My uncle took care of my grandparents, my dad's oldest brother, and we really didn't see them. But
Mhm.
my grandma was mean. She was a
Really?
mean old woman. My daddy would tell the story of she sent him in the attic to go get a box or something out the attic. Him, and his cousin Johnny, and they hit a part that was rotten and they fell
Mhm.
through. She took her shoe off and beat them because they dirtied her floor.
Wow.
And she could not. I did not learn no cooking from that woman because she couldn't cook to save her life.
No.
My mama, the first time she met her, my dad's like, and he told my mama because all he needed was fast food. He's like, because I won't eat her cooking.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, it can't be that bad. And they go over to introduce her, and she's cooking a chicken, the whole chicken, not cut up chicken, the whole chicken in a pot of water with a whole onion, not cut up, the onion, just no peeled or nothing. And she put it in the pot. And that's how she was cooking. And that's why none of the kids ate at home.
I've seen that happen before
up.
at Tammy's house back
Okay.
in the Gap.
So when she mentioned that chicken, the first thing I thought of was at Mawmaw at Pawpaw's house, digging in the, because do you remember in the backyard they used to have chickens and all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Digging in the gumbo, the chicken gumbo, to get your meat and stuff,
Yeah.
and that chicken head floats up and looks at you.
Bark.
I remember that to this day.
No.
That freaked
Tammy
me out.
couldn't do that.
It freaked me out so good, but you know what? I still ate it.
I bet you did.
Because it was good.
Because it tasted good.
Yeah.
I remember crackers with Maman Lejeune. That's
Yeah.
Butter crackers.
Crackers
So-
and the box of Kool-Aid. The
Yep.
sugar-free box of
no.
Kool-Aid.
So me and Jacques, it was Diet Pepsi
Yeah.
and butter crackers.
When wasn't
Yes.
feeling good, my grandmother would make me a fried bologna sandwich with a tomato and butter crackers.
Me and
Ooh.
Jacques broke into great grandma's house.
Yeah.
And it had to be the country crock turnstile butter.
So
Nice.
great grandma's house
Margarine at its best.
was a very old house.
Yeah.
Very. It had the traditional sleeping porch on
Yeah.
the front.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
So to lock their doors, you had to close the door and put a little latch
At the top.
at the top, and that meant nobody was home.
Correct.
That was locking the door back then.
Yes.
They didn't have
No.
locks like
keys,
we have on our
right,
doors,
right.
keys and stuff like that. So me and Jacques, like, Mama's gone. We're Gen X kids, so we lived in the yard. Okay, we were a little hungry. Great grandma was gone.
You gonna go sneak in that house?
Well, we found the broomstick, popped the little latch, got in there, and look, took the butter and the crackers. Just took enough to hold us over. You know,
Mhm.
Did
put
that get in
everything
trouble?
back, nice and neat, cleaned up, closed the door, tried to lock it back. We couldn't
Yeah.
lock it back.
Didn't Jacques used to steal in and sneak in and steal her and eat her butter? Like the stick of butter?
Yeah.
Wait, he'd eat the
Yes.
stick
Stick
of
of
butter?
butter.
Jacques.
Jacques used to eat the stick and butter and the salt.
Oh, with
He
the
would-
butter?
No,
Oh,
just separate.
okay. I was just wondering because we're getting kind of deep here. He was
Oh.
on the keto before people knew what keto was.
Correct.
Eat that stick of butter.
But yeah, we got busted because, great grandma called mama. I don't mind them coming over, but only when I'm home, and kind of thing. But
And they had landlines then.
yeah, they had
Oh,
landlines
yeah.
back then.
Dialed.
Their little roller.
My grandma
Do-do-do.
had that rotary
Do-do-do.
phone for the
Do-do-do.
longest
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
But,
All right.
that was-
So, what's something you do now without even thinking that you learned from your grandparent?
I don't smack.
Oh.
I do not smack when I eat.
I think it's the way that I speak with people and the way I conduct business because I grew up with that. My grandpa went everywhere, door to door. He had his friends. He sold produce, groceries. He had tally books. He would sell for
Who's a
They-
salesman?
Yeah.
he would sell for cash, food stamps, credit, whatever it took. And I saw a lot of that, and I saw how whenever we were somewhere and let's say the family didn't really have much,
Yeah.
my grandpa would always be the one to reach into the truck and grab an apple or an orange and give all the kids and be like, that's on me.
Oh.
Or if they needed some potatoes or something
seen
and they
somebody-
really didn't have the money to do it.
He knew his people.
Right. He took care of his people.
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel like I've gotten from him was that you
So-
take care of the people
That take care
that
of you.
take care of you.
So I can see that. And that's probably why you get frustrated so much when it doesn't happen.
Correct.
When
Correct.
when you say this is going to happen at this certain time,
Yeah,
you get pretty frustrated
that is true.
about it.
You're absolutely right.
Because you gave your
Because
word.
that's my word.
Yeah.
And that's what I
That's
learned from my
that's all he
grandparents.
has.
All you have
My
is your
word
word.
is my bond.
And if you break your word, then you're nothing.
Yeah.
You are
Correct.
nothing. You are not to be
But
trusted.
that's a lot of Cajun.
That is. And
Roots
that
stuff.
and the modern business world doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
If you're going to tell a customer that it's going to be shipped by a certain time, under most circumstances, it should.
Yeah.
And if it's not going to, you need to alert that customer on why not
But you-
well in advance.
and you kind of mentioned this a while back to me because I gave you a lead time on something. You said, "Well, I remember things took this a certain time,
That's true.
but we're a little bit busier."
Well, that's true. You're
And-
absolutely right.
And I always give a little bit more lead time
This is true.
because I'm giving you my word.
Well, and I
You know?
get that. I completely get that.
And then when
And
what
a lot
happens,
of times
what
I'm like,
happens?
hey, I'm gonna go give them that lead time, and it goes out quicker anyway.
It goes out quicker than
Right.
it's
And a
supposed to.
lot of times I will actually add time to it so
Yeah.
that way we don't end up in a bind. Or I'll come ask, hey,
Yeah.
can we do it in this time frame? Okay, well, if you said you can do it in a week, I'm gonna tell them 1 to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That way, if it comes out early, great. If we get in a bind, we have a couple of days to play
Yeah,
with.
correct. And we
But
always
yeah,
meet.
that's
we always meet it.
that was my Pawpaw and Mimi.
All right, guys. So share your memory or your photo with us online by email.
Ooh.
I would love to see some of these.
Oh, absolutely.
Some of our fans out there, their grandparents.
You know, we can make a nice little video with some of these pictures
Actually, I
or
could.
memories that you send over. So please email us. That's realsha@gmail.com. DATSREALSHA at
I
gmail.com.
don't know how
Send
he
us a
does this.
Facebook message.
I don't know.
Send us an email.
Ooh.
Send us a direct message or text us. Tell it to us in person. Whatever.
There's a lot of
Get us your pictures. Get us your stories. We want to see them. If enough come through, we'll make a whole show just dedicated to that. We'll do a part 2.
port two.
Part 2.
There's a lot of port twos I want to do. So
Absolutely.
I really do want to revisit some of these things that we
Right.
done
Absolutely.
because I'll go back and watch it and I'm thinking about other stuff.
And then be like, oh, I didn't think about saying
Yeah.
that or whatever.
Yeah,
I will say one time, my grandmother was a very funny person.
I was gonna say crazy, but
No,
no.
not really. She was very prim and proper.
Yes,
Oh.
very.
She would wear her kerchiefs over her head. If the wind was blowing, she would cover her face with it.
Is she proper? But only when we went to town.
For the
Anytime,
most part.
anytime she left the house.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Completely proper.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
don't go out in your house coat or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do remember one time I was sick at school. And I mean, it was probably what, 8-10 blocks from elementary school to the house on Mockingbird.
Okay.
I was sick at school and they called the house to come get me. And there was nobody there but her. She walked. Not did she walk the easy way. She walked completely all the side streets. She probably made a 10-block walk into 15 blocks just by going out of her way to not walk on a major road.
Because she didn't want nobody to see her.
Right. But
Yeah.
she walked, got me, and came all the way back because I was sick. And that
Yeah.
was something that was very important to me because she was not that person. If she could stay home and be happy, she was staying home and being happy.
Yeah.
I wonder which kind of shoes she wore to walk all of that.
Them little
'Cause
flats.
Mimi
them
would
little
not.
flats.
Okay, because
She had, like, some
she
flats.
don't do tennis shoes.
Oh no, she
Yeah.
did. She did not do
no
tennis
walking
shoes.
shoes.
No, she was prim and proper. She had the
I
shoes.
never really paid attention to that when I was growing up. What kind of shoes?
She did.
I
not.
never really
parents
did,
walk.
but I know in her closet there were a lot of dress shoes, high heels.
Yep,
I know
that's
my
Mimi.
Mawmaw had a lot of dresses
And a lot of-
A lot of
Uh,
dresses. She
purses.
didn't.
Well, she-
Yep.
Oh God, she had
my
so many
Mawmaw
purses.
probably made all of her clothes, if I would guess.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Probably.
your mama made a
My
lot
grandma
of
made a bunch, and
clothes.
then she liked Sears.
Because
My mama-
your mama taught my mom
Yeah.
basically how to sew. My mom was never anywhere as good as your grandma.
My Mawmaw made Kashika's wedding dress.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
that's special.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's probably one of the most valuable thing I have in this house.
Besides the table.
Besides the table.
I feel you.
You know,
Yeah, I completely
that's a lot
get
of
it.
memories right there.
Yeah,
'Cause-
Me and them pots.
yeah, and yeah, your
I got my
pots.
pots from my mom.
Yeah.
Some of those were my grandma's, but they were mostly
down.
mom's, and it just boom. That's one thing I've always told mom. I don't care about anything else, but I want them pots. And Tammy don't cook.
I
So.
was thinking about that too. I think I got a lot of that from my Mawmaw.
Oh, she
Likes her, she
Oh,
liked
my-
her vodka.
She
Yeah?
liked her vodka.
Did
She
really?
loved
I
her
don't
vodka.
remember that.
So Kashika was like nervous as hell for her wedding.
Up until we left the house
Yeah.
to go get the dress from her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then I got nervous.
She got nervous, and I wasn't there, but I was actually getting ready at the where we're getting married at.
Yeah.
And Kashika was at Mawmaw's house getting fitted and suited up with her dress. And Mawmaw looked at it. She's, "You nervous, babe?" A little bit. So here, drink some
Just
water.
drink some water. I was
Mhm.
not no
That
water.
was straight
Vodka.
It did the job.
Yes, it
Oh.
did.
See? Mama knew better.
Oh, did she know? Did
Mhm.
she know?
All right.
Nah.
Let's see. How you become your grandparents through how you talk, cook, care, or pray?
It's cooking.
Yeah.
And with them pots too.
My grandma did most of the cooking. Well, most of the big cooking. But my grandpa did like lunch and breakfast and stuff like eggs and rice and oatmeal. He was a big diabetic, so he would sneak cookies everywhere. My grandpa had a stash of cookies hidden somewhere at all times.
He was the one that taught me how to do milk coffee milk.
Coffee
Coffee
milk.
milk? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
With-
like
I've been
those?
drinking
With the
that sugar
sugar.
since I was 2
Uh-huh. Or
in the sippy cup.
Sweet tea in a jar.
Ain't nothing like Mawmaw's and great grandma's root beer.
Oh, grandma lunch came out.
Oh,
That
Oh,
that's what I
Yes.
was thinking about the
we
other
never
day.
did root beer.
Root beer.
Dude,
She
root
made,
beer.
but she buy the little bottles.
Yeah, the little
McCormick,
concentrate.
the
Yeah.
concentrated root beer, and
Yeah.
she always had root beer made for us
always,
whenever we
dude.
went.
That was the best
Mhm,
root beer,
mhm.
and
I
I can't make it. To
I
this
can
day.
get it
Really?
close.
I can't.
It's
I just
like
don't
it's
make
a
it very
perfect
often.
amount of root beer and sweetness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
hadn't thought
Probably
about
a
making
little
root beer
bit
in a
more
while.
sweetness.
Yeah.
But man, that was
That
so
was always
good.
good.
She might have made a simple syrup. Yeah. You ever thought of that?
No, I don't know.
Where you take a
My
little
grandmother
water and you
always-
put sugar
Mhm.
and then you boil it on the stove.
Well, it makes
Yeah,
simple
I make
syrup all the
sickles.
time.
I make
right.
There's like 4 or 5 different types in the refrigerator
Yeah.
I made.
Oh, I don't know, but
Fair enough.
I know my grandmother, the lunchays on the lunchay side, it was from the McCormick
Oh yes,
Yeah.
correct.
concentrated bottle.
That was
Mhm.
so good.
Oh,
Mm,
yum.
never did that. We did tea. My
Hey.
grandparents were tea
Yeah,
drinkers.
they were tea drinkers.
And they
would-
would make tea
So
constantly.
I get that from my mom and daddy.
Mhm.
My daddy loved tea.
I'm running to
Oh.
the bathroom.
Don't run.
Because she gotta go poop.
It's poop time. Poop
Poop, poop time. Gotta do a little break.
Gotta do a
That's
little
not
poop break.
nice.
I wonder if I could do a little edit right there.
You
like,
could.
With like a
Then
little,
you put a
little
little poopy
musical.
dancing to poop
little
time.
Mr. Hanky coming in the screen.
We'll have to make our own
That is
Mr. Hanky.
not
Hold on, I'll
nice.
make one after a while.
Okay.
Can we put a cowboy hat on him?
Yeah,
Sure.
sure. Why not? Hey, look, he'll have his little crawfish ball going
He
on.
probably have a whole P-road just calm down the toilet
Uh-oh.
water.
Tammy.
Oh, Lord. We're being assaulted by
I'm gonna have
dog treats.
look, Worm, if I have a bruise right here tomorrow,
It's Tammy's fault.
it's Tammy.
You damn
Absolutely.
skippy. It was
That's
me.
so wrong. My grandma was a milk drinker.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, she loves some milk.
So that's another memory I have. I don't know why I'm remembering it like that,
Uh-huh.
but it's where we had our family gatherings and stuff. We would go to Hollow Beach. It was drinking the frozen milk out of the
Frozen
refrigerator.
milk?
Yes.
Oh.
It was like ice cubes almost coming. You pour it, and there's like little chunks of ice.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was over chilled.
Right.
To me, that was like the best milk for some reason. I don't know why, but it was. It was very good.
Because it was different.
It was different,
And
man.
only them did it.
And I guess it. Maybe so.
They were the
And
only
it
ones
just
that
brings
you
up
knew
back
did
a
it.
lot of memories of
Mhm.
you know we were at the Hollow Beach and stuff like that. Our last big gathering we had was at oh geez I'm trying to remember the name of that.
Kingdom?
There was no that was a different story.
Okay.
It's the island south of Louisiana.
I was gonna say Pecan Island. but
Not
that don't
Pecan
sound
Island,
right.
no,
Market
it's
Island.
where jeez, I don't remember the name of this place.
That's not good.
Cow Island.
That's not a real island, but
No.
continue.
It is. Well, it is.
I can Google all of
Them
it.
people-
It is real.
Y'all know what I've said about south of Highway 90.
There's a lot of things that happen down here.
A lot of things that happen to a lot of unfortunate
Grand
people.
Isle.
Grand Isle.
Oh, okay.
Grand Isle. We had that's where we had our last big family gathering.
Yeah.
And I could remember to this day. You pour in that gallon of milk and it's like a slushy. Like a slushy.
Yeah.
It tasted so good to me for
Cold
some
Mm.
cold
Nice
milk.
cold.
I wish I could find the recipe my grandma used to make like cobblers, because she used to make this great like blackberry cobbler.
Yeah.
And she did not use a cake mix. It was not a cake mix for the cobbler. And she would dump it on top, and the top would get crunchy, and then it would be kind of gooey.
Yep.
But then you would have the cobbler.
Yep.
The
I know
actual
what you. I
fruit.
know what you.
But it's so different. And I know there was a ton of butter in it because you could taste the butter. But I don't know exactly how she did it.
My Mawmaw on my mama's side, she made an awesome fig pie
Oh.
that nobody can recreate.
I can do the figs close.
She
Yeah.
does the fig
but I
preserves.
cannot do the crust.
See, that's that
and
secret.
it-
And it could be lard. Most
It-
people don't cook with lard
Well, it's
anymore,
not
but
I
still.
make it and roll it down.
Right.
but
But
you can't make it
still-
exactly.
It's not
I
the
think
same.
They were thin, and I cannot get them thin.
So
Well, and you got to think, most, especially my grandparents, they didn't measure anything out.
no, it was done by eye and love and everything.
And that's how I
else.
cook. I do not follow recipes.
I
very
don't
well.
either.
I will cook and I will taste.
I would taste.
I will cook and I will
would taste,
taste.
yep.
And I will cook and I will taste and I will
That's how I do
perfect
most
it.
of mine, except for bacon. Because you put too much salt or something, you're gonna ruin it.
Tammy
Well, see, I don't cook with a lot of salt when I cook.
Tammy doesn't taste her food when she cooks at all.
Yeah,
Period. I'm like, Tammy, is it good? I don't know.
and I bet if Tammy would taste it, she'd be an awesome cook.
If she would taste it and
bet
adjust
she
it as
would.
it's cooking, she would. She would be a
'Cause
lot
of-
better cook than
'cause
what
of
she
good-
is.
Good cook, always taste.
That's right.
Always taste.
So
Because-
moving
Look,
on.
she's moving on.
She's ready.
She mad. She gonna be throwing dog
Emotional
treats at us.
grounding
It
and
hurt.
strength passed down like heirlooms.
What?
Heirlooms.
Where are we?
Oh, we're right here. Segment 4.
Oh,
6.
woohoo!
Six.
Number 6, segment 4.
Yeah.
Emotional grounding and strength.
Hmm.
I mean, I've
This
seen.
table's an heirloom.
Yes.
That thing that his gaming system is all
Yeah.
in there.
Our
Yeah.
entertainment center.
That was for my grandparents. It opens up and stores.
It opens
I
up.
The
have-
big one for me is my property.
I have my grandmother's.
That's where my grandpa grew up
house.
at. His father died really early in life. So at like 13, 14 years old, he became the man of the house. So he quit school and he went to work. They sold off most of the property except for the 2 acres that were left. And they went to work. So my grandpa would tell me stories about him and his mom going pick cotton for 25 cents a pound. You know how long ago that was? When's the last time you saw cotton in South Louisiana?
Very long.
Yeah.
Very long.
But he would, he would tell me stories like that. And then he was in the army. So he
18.
would talk about how he had to basically sleep with his eyes open because he was a guard. He was on guard duty overseas. So he had to constantly appear to be awake in his position, in his role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my grandma's all her old albums. I got the tablecloth.
I have my great grandma's Mawmaw. I have her quilt
Oh, really? One that was on her bed?
on her bed.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
That's
where it came
awesome.
from.
Yep, it's sitting on our bed.
Wow.
Look,
I used to
that's
know
the
it was one of your
best.
grandmothers and
That is the
didn't-
best sleep I can get because it's so heavy.
Yeah.
It's like a weighted
It's like
blanket,
a weighted blanket. So
but
you
it's-
get that little hug.
but it's aerated.
Oh, I want to see it after a while.
I'll show you.
Mm. How about like emotional strength? I've seen my grandma bury her husband and her only son.
So, Pawpaw, O'Neill, I remember he had his heart attack, had his
Uh-huh.
surgery.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Then the very next day, he's out there tilling his yard.
Yep.
That sounds like Uncle Neil.
Yep.
Because he
Absolutely.
had to get that crop in for the next year.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's what he survived on.
Yeah. My grandpa was the same, very similar. I think 2 days before he ended up going into the hospital with his cancer, and I mean, he stayed in the hospital for a good while. He was cutting his own grass.
Yeah.
He was out there cutting grass, no telling how he felt.
Well, same thing.
You know, they had to be hurting and pain. And if it was
Yeah.
us, we'd be like,
Oh,
Man, I ain't gonna cut that grass.
I hurt.
but they had no choice. You got up and you did it.
Same thing with my daddy.
Yeah, Jason had a high lawnmower.
Jason had to hide the lawnmower from him
Wow.
in Jason's yard and in his
Oh,
shed.
wow. Don't
Really?
say that too loud. He's going to hear you where it's at.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was.
Oh, he got it back.
Daddy went and break in and got it
Ah,
and cut his
Both
yard
yards.
and Jason's yard
And no.
Wow.
just to show him.
That's right. Don't mess with Pawpaws.
I know your Pawpaw.
He married 2 children. He married his wife.
That was a strong man.
Well, they had no choice but to be strong. I mean, you
Well-
got to think a lot of them grew up without real power or,
Well-
stuff like that.
Well, what we learned from him in his military years,
Ah,
when he served, he was part of a top secret.
The base he was had a top secret thing they were doing. A top
Yeah.
secret
Right,
up in the
right.
Jamaica.
Don't know what it is, but
Right.
he was part of that.
right.
You know,
okay.
And he left when he got out. The war ended. He ended up not getting. He was supposed to get shipped,
yeah.
and the war ended just before he was supposed to be shipped off.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
What's some
Crazy.
stories that you have of your grandparents? Like I said earlier, we want to see them. We want to hear them. Send us pictures. Send us messages. Tell us your stories. And if there's enough that come across, we'll do an episode. Don't
Oh,
play with
yeah.
us. Don't tempt us with a good time.
Yeah, we'll even invite you on.
That's right. If you want to come on and talk about someone special, hey, we're down.
Someone mentioned today they would
Oh.
like to be on the show.
Who's that?
Caillou?
Caillou wants to come on the show?
Caillou wants to come on.
Caillou will come on down, Chef. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Look, Get on
and
over.
his little busy little bottom.
Oh yeah, he don't
He
ever
won't-
stop.
He don't.
He don't
Don't
stop.
stop.
I don't even know if he could sit down for an hour.
Hey, he's gonna have to.
He's
gonna
working
have
out.
to.
Poor thing, he gonna be working. Look, his hands are not gonna stop. His little leg gonna be jumping. Then he's
What?
gonna need some fidget toys.
Well, his phone would probably go off more than he would.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
His phone will never stop.
It don't stop. That's a little busy little
Mm-hmm.
boy.
Come on, Caillou.
Yeah.
How we looking on time, Tim?
We're at an hour, baby. And
About
I'm
an
saying that
hour?
softly.
What? Look,
Softly.
you said it softly. Look, T Birdie, Tammy, the Tamzilla herself has
Good.
learned something new at 63 years
I'm getting
old.
ready to throw another
Thank
cookie
you,
at him.
Jesus.
Look,
He got
those cookies hurt. I'm gonna tell you right now. I got hit right here. I'm telling you, Worm. If I have a bruise right here, you know what?
Oh,
Ladies like,
lady's like, oh, it's a miracle.
Lady don't
Lady
know where to
Jane.
go.
Lady
At all.
Jane is underneath that table looking like a jackpot for a bulldog.
No.
She's like, it's raining treats.
You ever seen those mongoose go after a snake?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Boom, 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 boom.
What y'all look like.
so.
Okay.
Shout outs. Y'all have any shout outs y'all want to give out? Anybody? Anyone?
There was something I
Prayers.
was wanting to say. Oh, that was David at work.
Okay.
The one of the daughters in Houston with her boyfriend. They were in a bad car accident on
Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Saturday
Yeah.
or Friday. They were in. It was Thursday, last Thursday night into the Friday. They seem to be doing better, but let's keep prayers out for them.
My dad.
Yeah.
Y'all might want to start praying.
Yeah.
Okay.
The person that looked at his X-ray,
Mhm.
says he sees a lot of them and it looks like cancer.
Oh,
But I rebuke that.
absolutely. In the name of
In
Jesus.
Jesus'
Uh,
name.
yeah. They're supposed to go do a
Biopsy.
biopsy on
Yeah.
it and see what it is.
tomorrow they're going to do a lung test.
Okay, a lung test.
Is lung test. Amanda said it's pretty much just something breathing. You're breathing
Yeah.
something to see what the stress
Right.
lungs are. And she
But-
said, because my best friend is a respiratory therapist, she knows a lot about the lungs. She said,
Yeah.
depending on where it is, they just may be able to remove it completely.
Mm.
Good. That's what I'm praying.
I haven't heard any updates on Candy's friends. That
Yeah.
was Rebecca and Natalie.
Yeah.
It's actually
Uh,
Rebecca's sister.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right.
Rebecca's son, brother Wyatt.
Yes, I know Wyatt
You know
and
Wyatt?
Rebecca. Yeah.
We went to church with Wyatt, Zane.
Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We did all of that.
Wyatt played drums
Yes, he
forever.
played church,
Yes.
church.
Yeah.
And his thing came up the other day.
What
And
church?
Northside,
Okay. Fair enough.
and it came up the other day, and it was Wyatt and Rebecca sharing a GoFundMe for her.
Yes.
Okay.
To get her down.
Mm.
Right.
I actually shared it.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Good. Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up with Wyatt. I knew Rebecca because of Wyatt, but not on the
I went to school with Zane, and my
Yeah.
Wyatt knew from church, and he
Right.
was his little brother.
fair enough.
Okay.
is that the
Um,
artist one?
No,
No.
I hadn't heard from Landon this week, so that will probably be coming up. I think his visitation opens back up in the next week or two.
Okay.
So that'll be something on my list to take care of and go check him out and see how he's doing. So I'll get y'all an update on him.
Give him a little.
Oh,
feel
I'm about to
for
kick
me.
him in the head, bro.
Give him a little fist.
I'm
for
gonna
me.
kick him. Y'all know me. I ain't playing.
What? Look,
I
Maybe-
give him some of that
I-
Pawpaw on me.
we'll give him a little challenge right there. You
That's
know what?
right.
If he does good, makes it out of this, we'll have him on the show.
Are we gonna have him on the show regardless?
You know,
Talk about that story.
His
That's
story,
a journey.
His journey.
That's a journey.
You know, and
And
help
like
other people that are in the same
well, and
situation.
I've talked to his mom, and we have a group chat with like my brother, his dad, and then his mother, and some of their family members and such. And I had made a comment one time. This is 1 year. In the grand scheme of his whole life, it's nothing. But you never know what God will do and put you places to where you can be a benefit to someone else's life later who's going through similar trauma.
Right, correct.
That I think that's back to purpose, but you know.
So a lot of people don't know about me is that I had open heart surgery when I was 5 years old.
Yes.
I've always been a testimony to people that go through the same situation.
Mhm.
They look when back in the 80s, kids had to be like up to 6, 7, 8 years old before they
Yes.
can have an open heart surgery.
Correct. They
Right.
didn't have the technology.
I
back
was
then.
one of the first, maybe not the first, but
Right.
one of the first
Mhm.
kids at 5 years old to have open heart surgery.
Right.
You know what? You're saying that
Landon, as a baby, his heart valve didn't close. The hole in his heart never closed.
That's
Yeah.
that's
So
what
they had to go in and
they-
close
oh,
it.
Yeah.
And he was under 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean,
So-
he has
so what
there's a story growing in that boy.
Correct, there is, and that's something when I hear people, parents that go through situations. Look, I always tell my story
That's right.
about stuff. I wasn't supposed to live past 11.
I've been
I
hit with
wasn't-
so many things that I
Well,
probably wasn't
yeah, that's
supposed to
a
be
diff-
here either.
That's a different story though. But I wasn't supposed to live past 11.
Right.
Wasn't supposed to live past 19. Wasn't supposed to live past 25.
Because there's a purpose on your life.
Look, I'm 45 years old and I'm still going.
That's all that matters.
You know,
One doctor couldn't even find the issue. In
Yep.
because he was asking, well, what's that scar?
I had a
God is good.
yeah, he
That's
is.
right. All the time.
So when you get a new job interview and you gotta go have a physical
yeah,
done,
physical, yeah.
the doctor called me a liar
No.
because I told him my issues.
Right.
He's like, "There's no way you have had open heart surgery when you're 5 years old for a missing valve in your heart and
Right?
3 holes in your heart.
Yes.
There's no way you're supposed to have a heart murmur." I said, "Well, God is good, buddy.
That's right. Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
You know."
So you never know what you're
You never
going
know.
through, and you never know how that might impact someone else and get them out of a tough spot. So, you know, save your testimonies, tell people your experiences, because that's what we're called here to be. I'd never felt like humanity was ever designed to be solo creatures. We were designed to live in communities, to take care of one another, to help one another, and
Well,
get through things.
correct, because I mean, you look back in 2020 when we had the COVID crisis.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that boomed through the roof on the internet? Podcasts.
Yep. Sure did.
Because people had to
They had to
resonate with people, had
absolutely
to communicate with people,
absolutely.
had to connect.
You have to connect,
And now we're connecting across the world.
right? Through technology.
Through
Pretty
technology.
wild,
It's
huh?
wild.
Growing up, I mean, I didn't have a computer or the internet until high school.
Yeah. me
So
too.
I mean, I didn't grow up with
Yeah.
internet or, you know,
Well,
half the time we didn't have cable TV.
we didn't have internet. If I needed internet, I'd go to a school because that was the devil.
Well, yeah, I understand. I did get internet in my high school days.
You did.
But yeah.
Oh, Nanny,
Well,
I
it
love
was
you, baby.
actually Ronnie. Ronnie bought me my first computer.
Oh, really?
Ronnie McCall
So-
was the only reason that I got into computers, because he gifted me a computer from his company,
So
a
Oh,
brand new
wow.
computer
my,
from his company.
my first computer was a laptop that was about this big,
Oh,
and a little screen about that.
oh
big.
yeah, I remember them.
Yeah.
Oregon Trail, MS
Yeah.
DOS.
Yep.
You know the things
Uh,
you used to be able to do with DOS?
Yeah, I did a lot of stuff. I used to change my grades on DOS.
Okay, anyway, moving on.
I
How you think I graduated?
didn't say nothing.
Well, yeah.
Any other shout outs? Any other
Or praise?
reflections? Any other stories? Again, we want to hear from you guys soon. It really will not be that long before we can go live.
I think
It's about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
3 weeks.
it's right under 2 weeks right now.
Yeah.
By the time this airs, we'll be under 2
Because
weeks.
I'm trying to think real time and air
Well, this will
time.
be 7th episode.
No, this will be yeah,
7th
yeah,
episode.
You're right.
So this is
About 2 weeks.
7 weeks.
And
7 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
So within a couple of weeks, we're gonna be live and hanging out with y'all. So get ready, get your Tuesday nights ready because that's real Shaz ready.
so there's another idea I have.
Yeah,
How many of y'all watch TikTok?
I love TikTok. Y'all know
Oh,
I love TikTok. And I share TikTok videos. I share videos all day long.
So we have, I have a TikTok,
yes,
Lifetime Memory,
yes,
that I actually can go live on.
that is true.
So maybe on the next episode,
We'll go live there as well.
I can go live with it there while we record.
Oh, that would be cool. We may have to check on that.
So y'all get a little sneak peek what we're doing.
Hey, how many of y'all use TikTok? If so,
Yeah.
go look up
Lifetime
Memories. And while you're there, check out our own TikTok. That's Real Shy Podcast.
Yeah, that's booming as well.
We are on Instagram. We're on YouTube.
YouTube
is doing awesome. Some of our
booming.
clips up to 1,500 views.
Yes.
You saw that?
Yes.
Look, guys, this train's going.
It's going. You want to
can
ride?
join, you could join, you can hop on, but it's not stopping. I've said this before. I've said this on other shows. This train can't stop. It's going to move forward.
Yeah.
If you want to join in, hop on the train. Let's do this.
Yeah. All right, Chef
Chef
K.
K.
Okay, in South Louisiana, our roots run deep, and a lot of them start at a kitchen table or in porch.
Ain't that the truth?
Let's honor the ones who came before us and let their legacy live through everything we do.
And look, there's story that they gave us stories. Our grandparents gave us a lot of stories, a lot of strength,
Their strength
And-
came from stores.
and a lot of cholesterol as well.
Woo! Ain't that true? Talk about a fried pork chop real quick. I don't even fry at the house.
So look, if they're there, go hug y'all people.
Absolutely. If you have grandparents alive, call them, go hug them, go see them in the nursing home, give them some love.
Yeah.
Whatever you need to do. Because when they're going, they're going.
They're going.
They're with you forever, but it's not the same.
Hug y'all folks today.
Hug your folks. Hug your folks. Remember, y'all, our roots run deep. And our Pawpaws and our Mimis, our Nanas, Poppas, all of them, they planted them.
Yeah.
Till next time.
So,
That's
y'all.
Real Shy.
And Tammy's got to find a button.
That's right. Tammy's missing the cue.
Y'all know the tradition.
I even gave her a second to find.
Faith, family, and food, the Cajun Trinity. Bless this house and let the good times be. Raise your glass shot, pass that tray. Real shot, every single day. That's real shot we share, that's the way we roll. Laughing and sipping and stirring that soul. From a splash of whiskey to a pot of stew, that's real shot. We're cooking for you.